ocean floor. Feet in the sand, we ask for more. Rhythm of the tide, a gentle roar. Island glow, let it show. Feel the beat, let it flow. Island glow, we know.
The monsoon rain hammered against the windows of the Makati Medical Center as Amara Omandi sat in the waiting room, her stomach churning with anxiety. She'd been in Manila for only 3 weeks when the fever started. What she dismissed as adjustment to the tropical climate had become something more serious. Dengue fever, the doctor suspected. Ms. Omandi? A nurse appeared at the doorway. Dr. Biani will see you now. Amara stood on shaky legs, following the nurse down a corridor that smelled of antiseptic and floor wax. The doctor's office was small but tidy, diplomas covering one wall, family photos on another. The man behind the desk looked up from his computer, and Amara felt her breath catch. Not from her illness, but from the unexpected warmth in his eyes. He was perhaps 35, with the kind of face that suggested intelligence and kindness in equal measure. His nameplate read, Dr. Kahlil Biani Aguinaldo, infectious disease specialist. Ms. Omandi, please sit. His English carried the musical lilt of Tagalog. I've reviewed your blood work. You do have dengue, but we've caught it early. The good news is you're past the critical phase. The bad news is you need complete rest for at least 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Amara's voice cracked. I'm supposed to start my fellowship at the university next Monday. I can't. You can and you will, Kahlil said firmly but gently. Dengue is not something to take lightly. Push yourself too hard and you could end up back here much sicker. Where are you staying? A small apartment in Quezon City. I don't really know anyone here yet. Something flickered across his face. Concern, perhaps, or calculation. No family? No support system? Amara shook her head, fighting back tears of frustration and exhaustion. She'd come to the Philippines with such excitement. A year-long fellowship studying the intersection of African and Asian public health systems. Now she was sick, alone, and apparently about to blow her first major opportunity. Kahlil was quiet for a moment, then made a decision. I'm going to admit you for observation tonight, just to ensure you're properly hydrated and stable. Tomorrow, if your numbers look good, you can go home. But Ms. Omandi, you need someone checking on you. Do you have anyone who can do that? I'll be fine, she said, though they both knew it was a lie. Give me your phone. Confused, Amara handed it over. Kahlil typed something quickly and handed it back. His personal number glowed on the screen. I'm going to check on you, he said. Doctor's orders. No arguments. And that's how it started, with illness, vulnerability, and an unexpected kindness from a stranger. True to his word, Kahlil called the next evening after Amara was discharged. Then the evening after that. By the 4th day, he showed up at her apartment with a care package. Fresh calamansi juice, lugaw made by his aunt, packets of oral rehydration solution, and a stack of books. I asked the nurse what you'd been reading in the hospital, he explained, slightly sheepish. She said you finished 3 novels in one night. So I raided my shelves. Amara, still weak but no longer feverish, laughed. You brought me Chimamanda Adichie? She's Nigerian. I've read everything she's written. I know, but I also brought you F. Cynil Jose, Gina Apostle, and Eliza Victoria. You said you wanted to understand the Philippines better. Literature is the fastest route to a culture's soul. Over the next week, as Amara slowly regained her strength, Kahlil became a regular presence. He'd stop by after his hospital shifts, often bringing food, never the same thing twice. Chicken tinola one night, fresh pancit from his favorite street vendor the next, perfectly ripe mangoes from his parents' tree in Pampanga. They talked about everything. Kahlil had grown up in a small town in Pampanga, the son of a public school teacher and a nurse. His unusual first name came from his mother's love of poetry, Kahlil Gibran specifically, while Bayani, his middle name, meant hero in Tagalog. My mother had high expectations, he joked. Imagine growing up with a name that means hero. And you became a doctor, Amara pointed out. I'd say you lived up to it. He smiled, but something sad passed through his eyes. I became a doctor because my younger brother didn't get the chance. Leukemia when he was 15. I was 19 and completely powerless to save him. Amara reached out instinctively, taking his hand. I lost my brother too. Different illness, same helplessness. They sat in silence for a moment. Two people who'd learned too young that love couldn't always conquer death, but who'd chosen to fight death anyway, in their own ways. By the end of the second week, Amara was well enough to return to work. Her fellowship at the University of the Philippines would start late, but they'd accommodated her illness. The morning before her first day, Kahlil showed up early with coffee and pandesal. Nervous? He asked. Terrified? She admitted. What if I'm not ready? What if I mess this up? You won't. He said it with such certainty that she almost believed him. Amara, you spent your recovery reading public health journals and preparing your research proposal. You're more ready than you think. How do you know I was doing that? Because I know you. He paused, seeming to weigh his next words carefully. These 2 weeks, getting to know you, it's been the best part of my year. Something shifted in the air between them. Amara set down her coffee, her heart suddenly racing. Kahlil, I know this is complicated, he said quickly. You're here temporarily, you have a fellowship to focus on, and I was your doctor, though technically you're not my patient anymore. But Amara, I need you to know that I haven't been able to stop thinking about you. I haven't been able to stop thinking about you either, she whispered. He crossed the small distance between them, cupping her face gently. Can I kiss you? Yes. The kiss was soft, tentative, a question and an answer all at once. When they pulled apart, both were smiling. So what now? Amara asked. Now you go ace your first day. And tonight, if you want, I'd like to take you to dinner. A real date. I'd like that very much. Their first official date was at a small restaurant in Intramuros, the historic walled city of Manila. Kahlil had chosen carefully. A place that served both Filipino and Kenyan-inspired fusion cuisine. A nod to both their worlds. Over adobo beef samosas and sisig tacos, they shared stories that went deeper than their previous conversations. Amara talked about growing up in Nairobi's Westlands neighborhood, her father's work as a civil engineer, her mother's passion for education reform. Kahlil spoke of his childhood in Pampanga, of summers spent in his grandmother's Bahay Kubo, learning to cook traditional dishes and listening to stories about the Japanese occupation. My Lola, my grandmother, she survived unimaginable things, Kahlil said, his voice soft with reverence. But she never let it make her bitter. She used to say, Kahlil, Bayani, the world will try to break you. Don't let it. Break the world instead. Break it open with love. She sounds extraordinary. She was. She passed 2 years ago. He took a sip of his San Miguel beer. I think she would have liked you. She always said I needed someone who could match me intellectually and keep me humble. Oh, I can definitely keep you humble, Amara teased. After dinner, they walked along the cobblestone streets of Intramuros, the old Spanish walls rising around them. Kahlil pointed out historical markers, told stories of resistance and resilience, of a country that had been colonized repeatedly but never truly conquered. That's what I love about Manila, he said. It's messy and chaotic and sometimes frustrating, but it's alive. It absorbs everything. Spanish, American, Japanese, Chinese, and makes it Filipino. Nairobi is the same way, Amara said. Colonial history we can't erase, but a spirit that's purely Kenyan. I think that's why I felt drawn to this fellowship, to understand how we're similar, how we're different. Kahlil stopped walking, turning to face her under the glow of a street lamp. And what have you learned so far? That people are people everywhere. That kindness transcends culture. That I'm falling for a Filipino doctor who brings me lugaw and quotes poetry. His smile was radiant. "Come home with me?" he asked, voice low. "No pressure, we can just talk more. But I don't want this night to end yet." "Neither do I." Kahlil's apartment was in a modern building in Makati, spacious and filled with books, vinyl records, and photographs. He put on music, Coke Studio Philippines, artists blending traditional and contemporary sounds, and poured them each a glass of wine. They settled on his couch, close but not touching, the anticipation building between them like electricity. They talked for another hour, but the conversation became fragmented, interrupted by long looks and growing awareness of each other's proximity. Finally, Kahlil set down his wine glass and turned to her fully. "Amara, I want to be clear about something. I'm not looking for casual. I haven't been able to do casual in years. It's not how I'm built. So if this is just..." She silenced him with a kiss, deeper than their first, full of promise. When she pulled back, her voice was steady. "This isn't casual for me either. I don't know how we make this work long-term, but I want to try." That's all I needed to hear. This time when they kissed, there was no hesitancy. Kahlil's hands found her waist, pulling her closer, and Amara's fingers tangled in his hair. The kiss evolved, becoming more urgent, more demanding. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Kahlil rested his forehead against hers. "Bedroom?" he asked, voice rough. "Yes." He stood, taking her hand, and led her down a short hallway. His bedroom was simple. A large bed, more bookshelves, windows overlooking the Manila skyline. He turned to face her, suddenly seeming almost nervous. "It's been a while for me," he admitted. "I want this to be good for you." Amara smiled, touched by his vulnerability. "It already is." She stepped closer, beginning to unbutton her blouse with deliberate slowness. Kahlil watched, transfixed, then reached out to help. His fingers brushed her skin, leaving trails of heat. When her blouse fell away, he paused, drinking in the sight of her. "You're beautiful," he said simply. They undressed each other slowly, mapping new territory with hands and lips. When they finally came together, skin against skin, it felt inevitable, like two paths that had been leading to this moment all along. Kahlil was attentive, patient, asking what she liked, adjusting his rhythm to match hers. Amara found herself responding to him with an intensity that surprised her, her body arching into his touch, her hands exploring the planes of his back, his shoulders, learning the geography of him. They moved together, finding their rhythm, sometimes slow and deliberate, sometimes urgent and desperate. Kahlil whispered to her in Tagalog, words she didn't understand but felt in her bones. "Mahal kita," he murmured against her neck. "You're everything." When they finally reached that peak together, crying out in unison, it felt like more than physical release. It felt like a promise, a beginning. Afterward, they lay tangled together, sweaty and satisfied, the Manila night air cooling their skin. Kahlil traced lazy patterns on her shoulder, his touch reverent. "Stay tonight?" he asked. "I'm not going anywhere," she promised. They made love twice more before dawn, once slow and exploratory, learning what made each other tremble, and once urgent and almost desperate, as if trying to memorize each other. Between these moments, they talked, building intimacy in words as well as touch. As sunrise painted the Manila sky in shades of pink and gold, Amara lay in Kahlil's arms, feeling utterly content despite knowing that complications loomed ahead. But for now, in this moment, it was enough to have found each other. The next 3 months were a study in balancing professional ambition with personal happiness. Amara threw herself into her fellowship, researching malaria prevention strategies that could be adapted between African and Asian contexts. Kahlil's schedule at the hospital was demanding, 12-hour shifts, emergency cases, constant pressure. But they carved out time for each other. Wednesday evenings became sacred. Amara's research day off, Kahlil's short shift. They'd cook together in his apartment, experimenting with fusion recipes. Ugali meets rice, Sukuma wiki meets kangkong, Ethiopian berbera meeting Filipino spices. My mother would be horrified, Kahlil joked one evening as they attempted to make nyama choma using Filipino barbecue techniques. She's very traditional about food. Speaking of your mother, Amara said carefully, are you going to tell her about us? He was quiet for a moment, focusing intently on the grill. I want to, but my family is complicated, traditional. They have expectations. About you dating a black woman? About me dating anyone who isn't Filipino, he clarified. My mother has been trying to set me up with the daughters of her friends for years. In her mind, I should marry a nice Filipina girl, preferably from Pampanga, preferably Catholic, and give her grandchildren immediately. Amara felt a chill despite the heat from the grill. And what do you want? Kahlil set down his tongs and turned to her fully. I want you. I don't care what my mother expects or what's traditional. I'm 35 years old. I get to choose my own life. But family matters to you. I can see it in the way you talk about your Lola, about your parents. I don't want to be the reason for conflict. Then don't be, he said simply. Come meet them. Let them see what I see. That you're brilliant and kind and exactly who I want. 2 weeks later, Amara found herself on a bus to Pampanga, nervous in ways she hadn't been since her first day of university. Kahlil had briefed her extensively. His mother Milagros was strong-willed and protective. His father Ernesto was quieter but equally traditional. They would be polite, he assured her, but getting them to truly accept her would take time. The Aguinaldo family home was a beautiful traditional house with a corrugated iron roof and large windows, surrounded by mango and coconut trees. As they approached, Amara could smell something delicious cooking. A complex blend of garlic, soy sauce, and vinegar. Milagros met them at the door, and Amara immediately saw where Kahlil got his features. The same warm brown eyes, the same strong cheekbones. But where Kahlil's expression was open and welcoming, his mother's was carefully neutral. Mama, Papa, this is Amara Omandi. Amara, my parents. Welcome to our home, Milagros said in careful English, her smile not quite reaching her eyes. Please, come in. Dinner was a careful dance of polite conversation and cultural navigation. Milagros had prepared a feast, kerker, crispy pata, sinigang, and at least 6 other dishes. Amara complimented each one genuinely, and she could see Ernesto warming to her, asking interested questions about Kenya, about her research. But Milagros remained reserved until Amara, helping clear dishes, discovered the woman's collection of plants in the backyard. Medicinal herbs, many of which Amara recognized from her mother's garden in Nairobi. This is aloe vera, Milagros said, surprised. You know it. My mother swears by it for everything. Burns, skin care, digestive issues. She has a whole garden. And this, Amara pointed to another plant. We call it dawa in Swahili, for fever and inflammation. For the first time, Milagros truly smiled. Your mother sounds like a wise woman. She is. She taught me that medicine isn't just what you learn in books. It's what communities have known for generations. Something shifted in Milagros's expression. She studied Amara for a long moment, then nodded slowly. Come, let me show you my other plants. Kahlil never has time to appreciate them. As the evening progressed, the atmosphere thawed. By the time they left, Milagros hugged Amara, briefly, but genuinely. In the car on the way back to Manila, Kahlil reached over and took Amara's hand. You were amazing. My mother never shows her plant collection to anyone. She loves you very much. She's protective. She's difficult, he corrected. But I think she's starting to like you. Starting to... Amara agreed, smiling. It's a beginning. That night, back in Kahlil's apartment, they made love with a new intensity, as if crossing that hurdle with his family had deepened their connection. Kahlil was particularly attentive, worshipping her body with his hands and mouth, taking his time until Amara was trembling with need. Please, she finally gasped. Kahlil, please. He entered her slowly, watching her face, adjusting his angle until he found the spot that made her cry out. They moved together, the rhythm building, and when Amara climaxed, Kahlil followed moments later, collapsing against her with a groan. I love you, he said against her skin. Mahal na mahal kita. I love you too, she whispered back. Nakapenda sana. 6 months into Amara's fellowship, her phone rang at 3 a.m. She answered groggily, Kahlil stirring beside her. Amara? It's your mother. The tone sent ice through her veins. She sat up, suddenly wide awake. What's wrong? It's your father. He's had a stroke. We're at the hospital now. The doctors say, Amara, you need to come home. The next hours were a blur. Booking the first available flight, throwing clothes into a suitcase, Kahlil driving her to the airport at dawn. At the departure gate, he held her tightly. Call me as soon as you land. As soon as you know anything. I will. Kahlil, I don't know how long. It doesn't matter. Family comes first. Always. Go take care of your father. The flight to Nairobi was the longest 9 hours of Amara's life. Her mother met her at the airport, looking smaller and more fragile than Amara had ever seen her. At the hospital, her father lay in ICU, half his face drooping, unable to speak clearly. The next 72 hours are critical, the doctor explained. The stroke was severe. We're doing everything we can. Amara moved into her childhood home, splitting time between the hospital and helping her mother manage everything. Bills, visitors, decisions about treatment. She called Kahlil every day, usually late at night when she was too exhausted to cry but too wired to sleep. How are you holding up? He'd ask. I'm not sure I am, she'd admit. Kahlil, I can't leave. Not yet. Maybe not for months. I know. It's okay. Is it? My fellowship, my research. We'll still be there. Amara, your father needs you. That's what matters. But as days turned into weeks, the strain began to show. Time zones made communication difficult. Kahlil's messages came during Amara's sleep, hers during his shifts. Phone calls became shorter, less frequent, weighted with things unsaid. 2 months after Amara left Manila, her father stable but requiring long-term care, Kahlil called with news. I've been offered a position, he said, head of infectious disease at a new research hospital. It's a huge opportunity. Better resources, more funding for the programs I want to develop. That's wonderful, Amara said, genuinely happy despite her exhaustion. There's a catch. It starts in 6 weeks, and it's based in Manila. I'd need to commit to staying for at least 3 years. The unspoken question hung between them. What about us? Take it, Amara said, throat tight. Kahlil, this is your dream position. You can't pass it up for you. His voice was sharp with pain. You're not some inconvenient obstacle, Amara. You're the woman I love. And I love you, which is why I'm telling you to take the job. My father, he's not bouncing back quickly. I need to be here maybe for 6 months, maybe longer. We can't put both our lives on hold. So what are you saying? That we're done. I'm saying I don't know how we make this work. She was crying now, silent tears streaming down her face. I don't know when I can come back to Manila, and you have this incredible opportunity. We're on different continents with different obligations. Do you want to try? Kahlil asked, his voice breaking. Long distance, video calls, flying back and forth when we can? I want to, but I'm scared. What if we just drag this out and hurt each other more? What if the distance kills what we have? They talked for hours that night, going in circles, trying to find a solution that wouldn't ask either of them to sacrifice too much. Finally, exhausted and heartbroken, they agreed to take a break. Not a breakup, but a pause. To focus on their families and careers, to reassess in a few months. I love you, Kahlil said as they prepared to hang up. That doesn't change no matter what. I love you too. Always. 3 months passed. Amara's father slowly improved, enough to come home, to start physical therapy, to speak haltingly but clearly. Amara extended her leave from the fellowship, unable to abandon her family but feeling her own life slipping away. She and Kahlil still texted occasionally, brief messages about their days, carefully neutral, avoiding anything too emotional. It hurt less that way, but it also felt like losing him by degrees. One evening, as Amara helped her father with his exercises, Her mother pulled her aside. "You're miserable," Wanjiru said bluntly. "I'm fine, Mama. You're a terrible liar. You think I don't see you checking your phone constantly? Crying in the shower?" "Amara, this is about that doctor, isn't it? Kahlil?" Amara hadn't told her parents much about Kahlil, afraid of their judgment or expectations. But now it all poured out. Their meeting, falling in love, the impossible distance. Wanjiru listened quietly, then took her daughter's hands. "Your father and I dated for 6 years before we married. 3 of those years, he was studying in London while I was here. It was hard, so hard. But we decided we were worth the hardship. But you both ended up in Nairobi eventually. Yes, but we didn't know that when we committed to each other. We just knew we loved each other enough to try." She paused. "Amara, your father is stable now. He has me, he has his siblings, he has good doctors. You've put your life on hold for 3 months. I'm grateful for that. But I didn't raise you to sacrifice your happiness. I can't just leave." "Yes, you can. I'm not saying abandon us. I'm saying trust that we'll be okay. And if this Kahlil makes you light up the way you did when you first arrived in Manila, then he's worth fighting for." That night, Amara made a decision. She booked a flight to Manila, leaving in 3 days. She didn't tell Kahlil. She wanted to see him in person, to say what needed to be said face to face. The flight felt eternal. When she landed at NAIA, the Manila heat wrapped around her like a familiar embrace. She went straight to the hospital where Kahlil worked, her heart pounding. The receptionist directed her to the 4th floor, the infectious disease department. She found him in his office, head bent over paperwork, looking tired and beautiful and heartbreakingly familiar. "Kahlil." He looked up, and the shock on his face would have been comical in any other circumstance. "Amara? What, how?" She crossed the room quickly, dropping her bag, and kissed him. He responded immediately, standing, pulling her against him. The kiss desperate and hungry and full of 3 months of longing. When they finally broke apart, both were crying. "I'm sorry," she said. "I'm so sorry. I thought I was being practical, protecting us both. But I was just scared. Scared of choosing wrong, of asking too much, of losing you." "You could never lose me," he said fiercely. "Amara, these 3 months have been hell. I took the position, and it's everything I wanted professionally, but none of it meant anything without you. My father is stable. I can finish my fellowship. They've agreed to extend it for the 6 months I missed. And after that, Amara, I want to apply for positions here. In Manila. Permanent ones. Are you sure? I don't want you giving up. I'm not giving up anything. I'm choosing something. Choosing us. Public health research can happen anywhere. But you, I only get one of you." He kissed her again, softer this time, full of promise. "Come home with me, please." They barely made it through his apartment door before they were tearing at each other's clothes. 3 months of pent-up desire and emotion pouring out. They made love against the wall, desperate and urgent, reconnecting in the most primal way. Later, in his bed, they made love again, slower, sweeter, taking time to relearn each other. Kahlil mapped her body with his hands and mouth, worshipping every inch of her, telling her in Tagalog and English how much he'd missed her, how lost he'd been without her. Amara responded with equal passion, showing him with touch and words how much she'd needed this, needed him. When they climaxed together, it felt like coming home. Afterward, lying tangled together, Kahlil pulled something from his nightstand drawer. A small velvet box. Amara's breath caught. "Kahlil, I bought this 2 weeks before you left for Nairobi," he said. "I was going to wait for the right moment, plan something romantic. Then everything fell apart. But I kept it because even when I thought we might not make it, I couldn't let go of the hope." He opened the box. Inside was a simple gold band with a small diamond, elegant and perfect. "Marry me," he said. "Not today, not tomorrow, whenever we're both ready. But Amara, I want forever with you. I want to build a life together, here or in Nairobi or anywhere. I want to fight through the hard times and celebrate the good ones. I want to grow old with you." "Yes," she said without hesitation. "Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes." He slipped the ring on her finger, and they sealed it with a kiss that held all their promises. The garden behind the Aguinaldo family home in Pampanga was transformed. White chairs arranged in neat rows, sampaguita and roses entwined in decorations. A small altar at the front where a priest stood waiting. Amara adjusted her wedding dress. A beautiful blend of Filipino turnos and Kenyan kaitench fabric, designed by a Filipino-Kenyan designer they discovered together. Beside her, her mother blossomed with pride. "You look beautiful, baby girl," Wanjiru said, tears already flowing. "Is Papa ready?" "He's been ready for an hour. He's so proud, Amara." Outside, Amara could hear the gathering crowd, Kahlil's extended family, colleagues from the hospital and university, friends from Kenya who'd flown in for the occasion. Her father, recovered enough to walk her down the aisle with only a slight limp, stood waiting at the door. "Ready, my daughter?" "So ready, Baba." The processional began, a fusion of Filipino and Kenyan music that the couple had carefully curated. As Amara walked down the aisle on her father's arm, she saw Kahlil waiting at the altar, tears streaming down his face, looking at her like she was his entire world. They'd fought for this through distance, cultural differences, family expectations, career pressures. They'd chosen each other over and over, in 1,000 small ways and several big ones. As they exchanged vows, in English with passages in Tagalog and Swahili, Amara reflected on the journey that had brought them here. It had started with illness and vulnerability, grown through intellectual connection and physical passion, been tested by distance and obligation, and ultimately been strengthened by choice. "I choose you," she said as part of her vows. "Today and every day, in health and in sickness, in Manila and Nairobi and anywhere our lives take us. I choose us. I choose us too," Kahlil responded. "Mahal kita, nakapenda. I love you in every language, in every way, forever." When the priest pronounced them married and they kissed, the crowd erupted in cheers. Filipino tios shouting, "Oh, ai!" Kenyan aunties ululating with joy. At the reception, as they danced their first dance to a song that blended Filipino and Kenyan rhythms, Kahlil whispered in her ear, "Thank you for being sick that day." Amara laughed. "That's a terrible thing to be grateful for." "No, thank you for being sick, for being vulnerable enough to need help, for giving me the chance to fall in love with you. Best medical case of my career." "You're ridiculous. You love it." "I love you," she corrected. And as they swayed together, surrounded by their blended families and communities, Amara knew that every difficult choice, every sacrifice, every moment of uncertainty had been worth it to arrive here. In the arms of the man she loved, building a life that honored both their worlds while creating something entirely new. Love, they'd learned, wasn't about easy choices or perfect circumstances. It was about finding someone worth fighting for and then doing the fighting, day after day, with courage and grace and unwavering commitment. And they would keep fighting, keep choosing, keep loving, today, tomorrow, and all the days to come.